Welcome to my presentation today. I hope you enjoy and maybe learn something new. So let's get right into it. Within the realm of language death lies the term linguistic imperialism, also known as language imperialism or linguistic nationalism, and is a term that might be unfamiliar to you. Now, while it might be unfamiliar, linguistic imperialism is rooted deep in our history, especially British history, and is arguably part of what made British colonization so successful. So what exactly does the term mean? Well, according to scholars and linguists, linguistic imperialism is defined as the forceful or exploitative nature of imposing one's language onto another. For example, if I kicked down your door, grabbed you and everyone around, and forced you all to learn my own personal language, one that focused on things only I found important, in an attempt to change your perception through language for my own benefit, that would in many ways be a form of linguistic imperialism. The term linguistic imperialism originated in the 1930s but found its way back to mainstream when used by Robert Phillipson in 1992. Phillipson wrote a piece titled Linguistic Imperialism that focused on African attitudes towards the British and their colonial imposition. Now you hear me mentioning colonization and colonizers a lot, so let's discuss the link. Linguistic imperialism is best found during the rise of the British Empire in its colonial times, when the British sailed the seas and colonized land in the Americas, Africa, Asia, and even Australia. Now, colonizing lands was a rather arduous task, and beyond seizing lands, killing those that resist, and pillaging resources, colonizers in fact had a very calculated and intelligent method that utilized a number of tools. The key tool being linguistic imperialism. You see, to truly dominate and seize a nation under your rule, you must do a few things. 1. You need to assimilate them into your community so that they share your values, ideals, and thoughts. And 2, you need them to abandon their own ideals, views, and beliefs so that they can assimilate well. Now, linguistic imperialism made sure that if not immediately, at least over time, this process would take place. Smaller communities would take on the language of the dominant group and would thus over time begin to lose their connection to their culture and language community. Now you may ask yourself, why focus on language? Why not go straight up for genocide or use fear tactics or some other form of violence? And well, I'm sure there are a lot who shared your thoughts. There's a very simple answer. Language serves as the fundamental and core medium of all communication. And while signing or gestures help, oral communication stands as the most effective and efficient way. So let's take a little dive. In order for a dominant group to pass their thoughts and ideals onto another group, they need to establish a way of communication. Their options are to learn the language of those they're attempting to control or to teach their own language. And I think we all know what seems easier. However, the reasoning for targeting language does not stop there. And this is partly where we lean into some other areas of language death. So let us really peel back these layers and understand what language is and why it's such a powerful tool. Now, language is without a shadow of a doubt one of the most powerful aspects of human existence. It serves as our lifeline for communication and so much more. Language, according to linguists such as Claire Kramsky or Vygotsky, feel that it is an insight into a language community's culture, knowledge, ideas, and beliefs. Linguists discuss this idea in terms of socialization of children especially. You know, when a child is brought up within a community, we use language to socialize them into the group. Through language, they learn how to think, and thus the process of cultural development begins. Now, linguistic imperialism is an effective tool for this very reason. By imposing the dominant language on the target community, you give them the key to your own way of thinking, the key to your own cultural understandings, and effectively, you create a way for them to become just like you.